think I said that specifically.
I got the transcript.
So repeat it then.
Okay, let me go to it. Hold on. I wonder if there's anyone obsessed with learning languages.
It's
I
a
got
while back, probably.
it's further back.
It's
Why
probably-
why you so difficult?
Didn't you say that?
I said that, yep. Podcasts are my idea. I said that too. Like the entire genre. It's my idea.
Uh-huh.
Okay, here's the text. Should we start a podcast? And you said Tay, yay. And I said, okay, should we talk about what we want to do and have a vision for it? And you said, oh, yeah. And I said, yeah, so we know what we're podcasting about. And here's what you said. Since when do we need to know before? After we do it, we can know the name and purpose.
Yeah.
And
Okay, keep going.
And I said, it's too late. You already have an idea about how it should go.
You're the one who brought up the idea piece.
What you said that we don't need to know before because we can know the name after is an idea.
Yeah, because you forced me to express it.
How did I force you to express it?
Because you said we need to define what we're doing before we do it. When if you there was no need to express anything at any point. We could have just started the podcast.
So
why did thinking have to come in at all?
So this is the way I'm viewing it. Okay. I'm a manifestation in your life. I'm a manifestation of nature, right? You have no control over me. And I'm stimulation occurring in your conscious experience saying, here's something we can do. And my idea was, let's talk about what we want to do. Your idea was, let's not talk about anything and just show up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we both had ideas.
No, I didn't have an idea until you forced me to crystallize and conceptualize in order to express to you. I don't know. Suddenly there's a need to explain how to do it.
How so in response to
I'm responding to you.
Okay. Okay.
But the idea was have a podcast. That
Yeah.
was it.
And we are having one now.
All right. Well, I gotta go now. Gotta hop on a work meeting.
You have a work meeting?
Yeah, I just scheduled it.
A work meeting?
Yeah, it's really important.
All right.
What dog is that?
That one's Harley.
Hey, do you want to see this cool kimono I got?
I thought you had a work meeting.
No, I don't have a work meeting.
And why you just said I have to go because I have a work meeting?
Yeah, I was just pulling your leg.
That's what I've got a bone to pick with you, dude. I feel like you're just always pulling my leg. Like you'll say, let's do something, and then I'll be like, let's do it, and you'll be like, I don't feel like it.
Well, yeah, today, at that particular time, I was having a good time and I didn't want to switch gears.
So here's today's podcast, the podcast question of the day. Do you really want to do a podcast, or do you just like the idea of doing a podcast?
None of the above.
Okay.
Like it's just something that like there's an interest in participating in,
Uh-huh.
but I really don't have a personal reason or desire.
Okay. So when it comes to mind, it sounds like something that would be fun, but you don't, or how does it occur to you then? What is the,
It just feels like something that should be done.
should be done?
Or needs to be done, but like those are strong words. Um, I don't know. I don't think we need to apply those terms either, but it just feels, I don't know. That's the direction things want to move.
Well, how can we tell?
Because the interest in it keeps arising.
So when the interest arises, does it sound, what is it, when it arises, is it like, for, I can say for me, I enjoy doing this. It's fun for, it's, to me, this is just as fun as if we were running through a dungeon. Like I enjoy talking and recording and sharing. I don't know why. It's just like, it's just like an activity, like swimming or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I generally enjoy it too, but I don't know. These aren't things I like think about or categorize or create reasons or explanations for. Um, so I'm kind of at a loss, like how to arbitrarily encapsulate something that seems to just be naturally occurring in a framework of whys and hows.
So when you think of the idea of doing a podcast while we're done running dungeons, so like, what do you visualize for that? Because when you said that to me, like we should do it while running a dungeon, the way my brain works is I already have, like, you say the idea and I have all the, like, it just blossoms. I go, oh shit, well I can fucking load up the stream on here so I can screen capture what we're doing in the dungeon, and I can put both of our images while we're talking, and I can, like, everything, it basically forms fully in my mind.
Yeah, at no point. Yeah, there's no need for explanation or reasons. Like how to create it automatically appeared.
Yeah, there was no reasons or explanations, but the imagery, like we were texting about yesterday, the imagery of what the experience could be like unfolds within my mind as an adventure. It, like, I get to live it, and then the question is, the fun is like creating it once I.
Yeah, yeah. Let's pursue that.
What's that?
Let's pursue that.
So
Move
there
towards that.
so there it is. This is exactly what I wanted to do. I just wanted us to talk about what we wanted to do for a show.
But do you see how none of that ever needed to be talked about? That whole conversation could have been erased, and the same thing would have occurred.
No, because we're having the conversation that I suggested we had a week and a half ago. It just took a week and a half.
But we're just expressing things we already knew.
No, I didn't. I don't know. That's the whole thing. Is I'm looking at, you're an enigma, dude. Like, I can't get a read on you ever. Like, this is the way I describe you. If I were to describe you, and this also why I'm attracted to you. You only do what you want to do. You only do what you want to do. And if you're not interested in it, you're honest about it. I'm not interested in it. It's endearing. It's like, yeah, it's just, other than, yeah, it's just, so my unknown is like, okay, I'm having this vision in my head, and this sounds like the shit, sounds like a lot of fun, but you're like the unknown variable. I have no idea when you're at, where you're at, why you're at. Like, I don't even, there's no way I could ever tell where you're at.
I don't feel like any of those things need to be known in order to do any of the things we want to do. I don't know. I don't have the answers to those questions.
Yeah, neither of us can. That's true. Because who knows where I would be or when I would be at any time. So yeah, that's why I was interested in having this discussion, because I look at something like a podcast, or I'm interested in looking at a podcast as its own entity. Like the way I'm an idea in the form of Adam, you're an idea in the form of Reed, or many ideas in the form of whatever you are, whatever we are. Ideas are the forms of themselves, essentially. It's like, I don't know, like the best way I can describe it is how you kind of put it is, ideas take people, and ideas are like their own living entities. They're their own substance. And I look at that as that's how I'm interested in pursuing creative endeavors. Is I'm interested in pursuing it as its own thing, where it's not really me, it's not really you, it's its own thing.
In order to fulfill or pursue that idea that you suggest might be like taking us or driving us, like there's no need to think about it or put terms to it. It's not an idea in the sense of a stream of explanations or verbal concepts. It's an idea in the sense that it's kind of this intangible nebulous force that we participate in or not.
Yeah.
My full understanding of it is, I would say, mostly irrelevant.
But this is in the material plane we're talking about. It's almost like building a house. Like if you and I decided we wanted to build a house or like a settlement to live in, we would probably need to blueprint it. We would need to know where you would be at, where I would be at, how we would arrange our physical presence, and then like the materials, when would they arrive? There's all these things.
Sure, but do we need to think about that or say any of that out loud at any point?
I say no. That's the whole point of this. The whole point of this conversation is so we don't have to do that. I don't want to think about I don't want to think about anything when I'm on my own time. I just want to exist.
Well, why were you asking me all these questions, forcing me to explain myself?
What do you mean?
You just agreed like there's no need to talk about any of this stuff.
There's no need to think about it. I agree with you. There's no need to think about any of this stuff, but there is a need to talk about it.
I'll be right back.
Were you playing earlier?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Can you hear that leaf blower thing?
Barely.
Um, I went to the Undercity and I was making some potions to sell, and then I was gonna clean up my quest log. I was gonna grab some flight paths to Arathi and Hinterlands because there's a few quests there now.
Yeah.
They're taking me there. But then I want to go back over to Desolace and get like all the quests and chains for Maradon.
Dude, yeah.
Because there's a lot there, but like a lot of them aren't shareable or something.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, Maradon, I think I picked those up randomly outside the dungeon.
Yeah, I can't even figure out what's going on inside the dungeon.
Dude, it's confusing. It's super confusing. I don't know what's going on in
I
there
have no
either.
idea what's going on. Yeah.
There's an orange zone, like an orange part, a purple part, a staff, and a third part. And I'm like, I don't know. And when you get in a group with people, dude, it's like
they just blow through it like
it's crazy.
but they're going to work.
Yeah, like they're there for and I'm like just trying to keep up. I'm trying to get my mana healed, and they're like 30 yards away starting fights. I'm like, y'all are dumb. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
ready to heal yet.
Yeah.
Oh man. So this is what I want our podcast to be about, dude, is like being, seeing and experiencing the world of Warcraft, dude. Right now, that's what it is.
You want our pod to be about World of Warcraft?
Well, I like that as the backbone because both you and I are interested in it. I'm experiencing, so throughout my day-to-day life in society, as I move through the world, there's nothing I ever see that I go, ooh, I want that. It never happens. I never see anything, a nice car, a meal on TV, nothing. I never go, I want that.
Uh-huh.
But I'll be in World of Warcraft
Yeah.
and something will drop and it'll be visceral. I'll be like, oh my God, I want that, dude. Like, I got to win this role. Which is odd to me. I don't know. It's just odd.
Have you ever noticed that, and I'll speak from your point of view right now, that it takes the same amount of effort to move your body as it does to move mine? Pay attention to my tile on Zoom.
Yeah. That is a trip.
Yeah.
Wow. What? Oh my God. Yeah, so yeah.
So like I
Yeah.
think about this kind of stuff when I'm on work Zoom meetings. And I have this like because there's something really interesting about watching your square and a group of other squares and then seeing like you basically relegated to that same square as everyone else's.
And they're all equal in the realm of energy. Like they're,
Yeah, and I was looking at the squares, I'm like, there's not a difference between these. Like I the feeling of effort is the same no matter what square I'm looking at.
and even the, and it's the same amount of effort for you to breathe and move your hands on the mouse and everything. Like you're just like, it's all the same amount of effort. Holy shit. If this gets published, some brains are melting right now because they've been driving or they've been walking and they're just now realizing that it's happening just as easily as our voices talking over the radio.
If I said again, my connection just
They're realizing it's just they're like if they're listening right now and they're walking or driving, they're realizing it's they're doing it just as easily as our voices are moving through their ears. It's all equal. So their heads are exploding. Their brains are melting.
here's another one. I think I've probably mentioned this before. I don't know, in a different form. Have you noticed that it's impossible to listen?
Yeah, it seems to be like it's just about attention, like placing one's attention. There's really no, I don't know. It depends on what you mean by listening.
Yeah, what do we mean when we say listen? What do it doesn't exist. Like listen to a sound. What are you actually doing? What are you moving that makes you hear that sound when you didn't before?
It almost feels like the focus goes off of my attention and goes into the physical realm of what is occurring in a moment in time.
So it's shifting attention to a particular stimulus that's already within the realm of my perception.
Yeah, I would say it's shifting your attention to the experience of perception. Which is interesting because when someone says, like when Melissa would say, "Are you listening to me?" And my listening, like I'll listen not only to the, like I'll listen to her whole body and the way she says things just as much as probably more than the words she actually says. So I'm not just like I'm listening so attentively that I'm not really even hearing your words, or they're not as important to me as the way in which you're being.
Whatever's expressed with the words is a transient idea that'll be irrelevant in an hour anyway. Literally doesn't matter.
Huh?
Literally doesn't matter. What the words could be anything.
They could be anything, and they're always going to be something. Yeah, dude, I was playing last night on the Druid. I was having a ton of fun on the Druid because we were getting in PvP fights with like little 3-person squabbles outside the dungeon. And like I was a cat, so I was DPSing. Then all of a sudden I realized I could just flip to heal real quick in mid-fight and root. And then they started chasing me like I was a healer. So I ran, and it gave time for my guys to like hit him from behind. It was, hey, there's the guy.
Gosh.
That's Reed.
Green.
You have to put it in front of the camera if you want to show it to him. Right in front of the camera. There you go.
Ah,
Yeah.
Gosh.
Josh is in Nashville. Uh-huh.
Pa.
Paul's at his house.
Pa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in the bathroom this morning, and I came out.
dude, look how he sits. It's so like such a perfect way to sit.
Yeah, he's the baby Buddha. He's a big baby now. Like he's heavier than a 45-pound weight,
So 50 pounds.
probably, give or take 50, 60. So would you say that like the interest is in experiencing life without force, or without, yeah, like experiencing life as it is without control?
How do you experience life as it isn't?
How do you experience life as it isn't? You don't. So it's mind stuff then. It's noticing where the mind is muddying the experience of life. But that is life.
Right. It's noticing that the mind is muddying the experience, maybe of something, or layering something on top of. But yeah, it's not about the experiencing life once the mind's out of the way.
Yeah, because it's part of it.
It's, yeah, it's just we've decided it's not supposed to be that way. And so we resist looking at that simply without trying to solve. But I don't think it's about anything really. Like, I don't know, to say it's about anything or whatever, like define it first.
No, you can't.
Right. So that means there's kind of like a faulty concept that we're starting with, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just to me, because you said earlier, like for some reason it feels like the podcast is something we should do. And we talked about this when I was in town, and it was like, for some reason, when we get together, good ideas happen and cool shit happens. Or actually, what I would say, I can speak for myself, my experience changes. Like the content of my experience, the way in which I'm conscious through the experience changes in relation with you. And if I was comparing temperatures of a pool, I would say this is a pool that's enjoyable to swim in compared to other types of experiences I may have. And I say that because it's like, I was thinking about my time when I was staying the weekend a couple months ago, and I felt like my brain was completely dead. I barely had any thoughts
Uh-huh.
at all the entire time. And if there were thoughts, I just shared them with you. So nothing had time to, it was like it was so weird. I just felt like I was drunk the whole time. Everything was slower. Nothing mattered. It was just like smooth sails and easy living.
Do you want to come down around Labor Day,
When's Labor Day?
like September 1st or something?
September 1st.
But you want to come down, so like starting August 29th, I'll be off, or that weekend, I'll be off
Oh.
for a while.
Yes, I can. That weekend would be great. But yeah, so we said, like, I don't know. And so my thought always is, well, not always is, but it's interesting to me that you're interested and I'm interested in this thing we're attempting to describe, the it or whatever. Like the way the mind not overrides, but the way the mind muddies a pure experience of consciousness.
Out. 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 Ah.
I don't know.
Well, we both would, like, there's something in me that I don't understand why I wouldn't do anything else. Like, I want more. Like, I'm not interested with just normal. I'm not interested with, well, I guess I am nowadays. I guess I don't know how to describe it, but there's a deep fascination with being thrust into reality and wondering what that is. Like, for some reason, I don't know how to not examine this phenomena that is occurring, this phenomena of consciousness. I don't to me, it's deeply fascinating.
Perhaps you're attributing too much ownership to these thoughts and interests.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, yeah. Yeah, it was tough for me to, the reason I wanted to talk about like what the idea for a show would be like is because I don't think, I don't think we operate that way.
What way? I'll give you a second to think about it. I have to go.
Yeah, let me think about it. I'm going to talk about it while you leave. The reason I wanted to talk about what the idea for a show would be is because I don't think you and I mean, I can speak for myself. I'm not interested in me. I'm not interested in my experiences, my thoughts. Yet this strange occurrence is caring. Like, I care about something, or I care about this or that. And when I start to care, that strongly, I start to examine it, because that's the personhood. That's the me that I think you were just alluding to. Uh, Like I take ownership of this experience. It happens naturally. I think it's just a natural thing, a natural part of life, is as we live and breathe and move through the world in our bodies with our experiences and the families and the environments and the people around us, it's just natural to take ownership of it. And yeah, I guess when I think about like the gurus and the people that are like Ramana Maharshi and anyone else, like I am that, like the ownership, like the thusness, I am this, I am what is occurring, like that, I'm talking about deep-headed gurus, like gurus that done wear diapers all day and just chill and talk about what it's like to talk about talking, and they go, I am you, I am this, I am that, like I am all. And to me, I guess it's a conflict of language, but that feels like a level of personhood. I think identification is the thing that still can arise, but also these are just words spewing out of my mouth. Yo,
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
Paul,
yes.
yes.
Uh, uh,
So let's just take a moment of quiet reflection
yeah.
while things are moving, being, doing, seeing, thinking, binking, linking, sinking, and chinking. And it's also funny how thoughts just arise out of nowhere. And there is something to talking. Like it's different. Like it's not necessary. I mean, who's to say what is or isn't necessary? But yeah, everything just arises from seemingly nowhere.
I took off the robe before going out to talk to the yard person.
Yeah, it felt natural to do it though.
It did.
It was almost gracious. It's almost gracious. Like it's like I'm gonna acknowledge that you have to work right now, so I'll take my robe off.
I don't know. I felt like it's like I don't care for sharing this part of my life with you. It's private.
You want to do a dungeon?
Do I need to like get some breakfast going first before I can sit down for a while?
Okay, so this is my idea then for the show. I'm just gonna blast you with a bunch of shit. You can think about all this stuff and we can come back to it later, okay?
I won't.
Okay. I would like to share our story doing the dungeons, like what the experience is like with these random people on Warcraft, how the game is played, where we go, what the environments are like, what we don't like. I like all that shit, like our own adventures through Warcraft and just sharing our perspective about what it's like. So like it would be, we'd run a dungeon and then afterwards we'd talk about it. Or we'd talk about what we were going to do, go do it, and then break it down. Or we could do a combination of either of those things or record us actually doing the dungeon, being like, whoa, what is this? What is that?
I think it'd be interesting to just talk while we're doing the dungeon.
We
We
could
can
try
break
that.
down after, but like at the same time, I don't feel a strong strong desire to talk about anything that's going on or break anything down.
Okay. So when the Zoom meeting ends, it ends. So I guess I'll leave us with this. We still don't know if we're doing a show or not.
Um,